welcome back to our second, I guess 2.2, if we're still going to go with that.
2.2?
Yeah.
Derek the Ghost. We're back.
With Travel the Darkroom.
Yeah.
It's going to be sticking for now, that name.
Yeah.
But you wanted to take this idea
Yeah.
away with you, what we're going to be talking about today.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about the printing of photos rather than just uploading online to social media, and what makes it different, and if you prefer it, how do you feel about it?
With today's technology, with today's, everybody has a phone on them. There's that whole, the best camera that you have is the one on you, that whole, quote thing. I get it. I do. And being a photographer, it's very quick to just put it on your computer, edit, then upload it to social media, be it Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or anything else that you want to upload any photos to. And then that's done.
Yeah.
You don't really think about it. Once you've uploaded a photo on Instagram, you don't really think about looking back at it. No, it's kind of there, done.
Gone.
But when you actually... So we do stuff in the darkroom. Since being at college. We did a little bit.
Yeah.
And then did a lot more at uni. When you actually physically hold that print, it just feels different.
It feels so different.
You're holding an actual object, and it's the actual object that you photographed. You've put your time and effort of going to location, if you're doing a landscape, or finding the models. And if anybody's been in the darkroom, to get something, especially colour.
Oh my god, I love doing colour photos.
I have a few friends that are good at the colour darkroom. But since not being in the colour darkroom, I kind of lost... Yeah. I prefer black and white.
See, I prefer colour. I mean, I like black and white, but I enjoy the whole process of doing the colour. And I don't know what it is about colour. It's weird though, because in the colour darkrooms, you're in complete darkness. In the black and whites, you're in the red light, aren't you? I'm petrified of the dark, but I prefer the colour darkrooms. It's really odd. Yeah,
you sort of have to scrape your feet or clap or do something so you don't bump into something. But I prefer the black and white. It's just for some strange reason, when I look at the negative, and it's something else, analog. You print, you go and develop your own film. Yeah. A completely different, tangible sort of feeling than an SD card or a compact flash or whatever you shoot on, whatever system. Where you go into the darkroom, you mix the chemicals. Which one's that one? That
sounded like the middle one.
Is that one recording?
Should be.
Alright, sorry about that. Where were we?
About film.
Being whole tangible sort of... It's there. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then when you look at... When I look at a black and white film, I automatically know, okay, that's going to be 15 seconds at whatever aperture, and do one test strip, done.
And it's really
colour...
See, I like it. It's a bit more complex, but I don't know. I just really enjoy it. I like getting the... It's making the colours work together, though. It's not like...
I can't even get that far.
See, I like it. It's
the exposure for me. For some strange reason, I can't work the exposure. If I get the exposure down, then I'm sorted with colour, because I automatically know, it's a little too green or too blue or pink or magenta or something like that. But actually getting your stuff printed and hanging up on a wall and everything like that, it's another skill. Yeah.
I also think, though, when you shoot film rather than digital, it's another complete different thing. With film, because you only get a certain amount of shots, more thought goes into it, in my case, because if I'm on digital, I'm just snap, 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 snap.
It's a whole shutter.
Yeah, walk around
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I shot over 1,000 images at I was working for this client, and they wanted me. We did this thing where I live, Seaside in the Square.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody knows me, will know where and what time that is. And I was working for a company that was like, "Are you free Friday? And can you come down and shoot backstage and bands?" And there were maybe like,
oh yeah, I've seen those pictures.
Yeah, a few of them on my Instagram. And so literally shot 1,582.
God, it's a lot to go through.
So,
yeah.
Only on one battery though.
Yeah, that's crazy. That must have lasted ages. Battery.
Well, I'm still using Canons. It's actually the ones that we're busy recording. So their battery life is so much better.
Much better.
But you don't have to think about battery life when you're shooting analog.
Yeah, that's very true.
On some analog.
Yeah. I mean, you can have the batteries in them for the light meter, can't you?
Yeah, that's why I was like some analog.
But if you've got like a separate light meter.
What? My analog doesn't actually work if it doesn't have the battery working.
Really?
Yeah, the shutter sort of just stays open.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't close.
Okay.
So it will open it, but then you have to fiddle with it, hit it, and it will shut.
Yeah.
Where you actually have to have the battery with that one. That's why I was like, where my medium format doesn't need a battery.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I always think like on film, it's also the fact that you take these pictures and you can't see them. And then, like, I feel like the whole process of the printing and finally seeing these pictures you've taken, like, it's just got a feeling about I love it. I love it so much.
Do you also feel like sometimes it's a pain because, like, if that's the only camera you have, and you've loaded black and white, or you've loaded colour, and you go, like, to London and you see, like, this really cool, like, architectural shot, and you think, that would be pretty good in black and white.
And you've got colour filming.
You've got colour filming.
Yeah, that's a little bit frustrating, Yeah, I get that.
It was like, I accidentally loaded some film when I was in Israel. Went to the Dead Sea.
Right.
And, like, the Dead Sea, the water is like, you can see the bottom, but not that super clear. But the whole mountain range was, like, different colours.
Oh.
Like, it was, like, all, like, reds, yellows, browns, like, you could see, like, and I was like, this will look crap in black and white. Because you don't see what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So, like, damn it, I wish I loaded
the colour. Yeah, that is the thing with film. You'd have to be carrying loads of cameras around.
Yeah. Or at least one with colour, one with black and white.
Yeah.
And then also, like, if you don't have enough film.
Yeah.
It's like, then you can't
set
just
shots.
far away.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing, though. Because, like I say, you think more about what you're taking the picture of. And I love the whole process of when you can finally see the pictures. And, like, if you've left that roll of film aside for so long and then you come back to it and it's like, oh, my God, I forgot about that.
Yep.
I love that. But the whole printing thing, it's so different to hold something than to post online. Like, when we were talking about social media, I always think that you'll edit these pictures, post them online, and then, like, because it's a digital file, you can always go back to it. But there's something more permanent about the just printed pictures in your hand.
Especially if you send it off-site. Like, if you don't have a big, fancy...
Darkroom,
or even, like, printing. A lot of people shoot... Not many people shoot analog, so they'll be shooting from digital formats. So having a big, expensive printer. So you'll be printing it off-site. So it's trying to find that off-site person or company that understands how to print. And then once sort of that comes back and you see it, if it's all correct, it's like you said, it's the most amazing. Like, it's just perfect.
It's great. Yeah, I've got loads of pictures from, like, all these different places I've visited. Like, I've got Norway pictures and I've got Portugal pictures, Amsterdam pictures, and I've got them all, like, digital.
Hard drive, yeah.
And I still, like, have got on my, like, checklist, to-do list to just revisit these pictures, edit them to a standard where I'm like, that's like good for printing, and just make them like we were talking about InDesign, just making little books of all these pictures.
Yeah, that's
just like as a record, because I feel like also if it's on a hard drive, it can easily get lost. Whereas when it's in your hands, it's like, this is special.
And if you feel like you need to put it back in digital format, you can just scan it back in.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you've done the printing right, well, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Well, if you mess up at the beginning section, then okay, the scan isn't going to be that great. But fingers crossed, you've printed it.
Yeah, it is the thing about digital files being able to get lost as well. Like when it's printed, like here, like today, you'll find pictures from like years and years ago because they're printed.
Yeah.
If you had like, I don't know, like
you can buy archive. Like portfolio with film and prints on eBay and all different sites, and it's just when you go through it, you could have stuff going back from
like the 1800s.
Yeah, like when the camera first came about. Like that to me is just wow. Yeah. And even the whole like Instagram has become so what's it when it actually isn't, like the whole ironic.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to think of. Like the whole word Instagram has become like that word is ironic. Just nothing is Insta about Instagram today. Like everybody shoots a photo, edits it for like 4 or 5 hours, and then uploads it. Like I think the whole premise of it used to be, you take it on your phone, you post it. Yeah. So I mean, I jumped on the bandwagon with Instagram back 2011.
Yeah, I joined. I think that it was either 2010, 2011 when Instagram started.
I was either in Malta or Cyprus, and I uploaded my first photo. It's no longer on there.
So different. Literally, Instagram when it first came out.
The blue, big bold icons.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So literally, even that is not how. But I kind of like it in a way.
Yeah, it's different. I saw recently, like online, the first ever Instagram post, and it's just crazy, like how much it's developed. Like it's not even been that long, nearly 10 years. Yeah. But like the quality of the pictures that are going on now compared to what was going on when it first came out, like it was literally just snapshots of random things.
Could that be also then the quality of the phones?
It could be, but it
so
also...
now people are feeling a little bit more, I don't want to upload a unedited version of a photo. Or is it because of the market?
I don't know. I think it could be to do with the
people...
We're
going on a bandwagon here.
That are now... the people that are now on Instagram, obviously there's more people using Instagram. You've got proper photographers using Instagram. Yeah. Back in the day, it was just anyone.
Any Tom, Dick and Harry.
Yeah, literally. So, I don't know, it's crazy. Things change over time, like drastically.
Well, there's this guy that I follow, and he got in when stories first came out. And that's sort of where my stories, I've kind of took a little bit tips and tricks from him. Yeah. So that's why my recent stories are very like cut up, sort of with music background in the background, and sort of like a whole day. And when stories first came out, he had a few friends that were in Instagram, and they all said that's not how stories are supposed to be used.
How were they meant?
They're supposed to be like snapshots of fun little moments, not like super edited.
Yeah, that's
well
what,
done.
That's what mine
and
are
sort
like.
Of creative. That's not. They were like, that's not how.
Yeah.
And they just completely didn't like it.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, but I think more people.
But I kind of like that though.
Yeah.
You take your own creative spin on it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, those stories haven't been out that long though, have they? I remember when the stories became a thing, and I didn't upload to Instagram stories for ages when it first came out, because I was like, oh, it leaves in 24 hours, what's the point in stories? Like,
did it come out in college?
I think so, yeah.
That's why I'm trying to rack my brain.
Yeah.
Like, nobody in our college used it.
Nobody
Maybe the
used
only
it.
person was Should we say names?
Maybe.
It was Ethan.
Yeah.
When he did his surfing stuff down, like every now and again with his brothers or something like that. I think that might have been the only
story.
Or maybe some of your friends that you used to hang out with. So, I mean, we hanged out with completely different crowds.
Yeah,
and
first
sort of
year
just
we did.
Melded into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were scared of me.
I wasn't scared of you.
Well, it was the other lot that thought I had a massive beard.
Wait, who was that? People were scared of you?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I think because first year we were in separate classes, weren't we? And then so many people dropped out and we ended up becoming one class.
In one class, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think even, I would say college, because we didn't have sketchbooks.
No. It was all digital,
we had to do everything
wasn't
on InDesign and print it out.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe set our brains more into, let's get things printed.
Yeah.
That could, now thinking about it, that could be why I'm more drawn to, like that most recent photograph of the drone shot,
Yeah.
the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay. First person I'm telling you this, completely edited.
No way.
The bridge wasn't there, the car wasn't there.
Oh, really?
The water wasn't there, it was like not there at all.
Oh my god.
And I sat for a couple of hours editing it.
Yeah.
Found a stock free image of a bridge, colour graded it, and made it completely the same colour, and dropped it in, blended it in here and there, and that's what I mean. Like people just edit.
You can make a photo from nothing
and put it up on Facebook. And I looked at it. I'm like, I have to print this out, and I've printed it out. Like, it's just one of those images. When I finished it, I'm like, yeah, it's completely edited, but the foundation of said image is still mine.
Yeah.
But I was like, I have to print it.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, photography in a way has changed then, hasn't it? Well, I guess people used to do tricks like that. I guess with like...
Back in the darkroom,
Yeah.
I had to do this research on this guy that had multiple darkroom easels. And he would have one negative, another negative, and then he would dodge and burn.
Yeah.
And then put it in the next one, dodge and burn bits and bobs, and then put it in the next one, and then go and develop it. And it could have like an eye coming out of the ground, and like super weird and creepy, and you would think that's done in Photoshop.
Yeah.
But I think the Photoshop, it's a predecessor. Predecessor? Is that right? What came before? Predecessor.
Yeah, that sounds fancy. I don't know.
Is the darkroom. And like that's why you have the dodge and burn tool.
Yeah.
Dodge and burn.
Yeah, it's just copied stuff from the old ways of doing things. But then like when you think of it like that, is that still photography or is that graphics? Because in graphics, when we used to do graphics, we'd take images and make them into
a composite.
Yeah.
Huh.
So that's interesting.
I've never really thought.
Would it class as photography or graphics?
You always come up with this whole, is it this or is it? So you did a couple of days ago on a hot dog.
Oh yeah.
Is it a sandwich?
Is it a sandwich or not?
Like, I've never really thought about it, if it's graphics or is it a photo? Like photography.
Interesting, isn't it?
But technically they're two photos.
But then when you're combining them, does it then become graphics?
But the tools that you're using are the same as in the darkroom. Because all I did was the clone stamp tool.
Yeah.
To sort of blend it in, and that would technically, you could probably do that in the darkroom.
Yeah.
A little bit of dodging and burning because the photo of the bridge was a slightly different colour.
Yeah.
To the original background. So I dodged and burned it and colour graded it. I guess if you're working in the colour darkroom, you could put a tint, stuff like that. But that's pretty much all I did. So I didn't add text. With graphics, I think of text. I think typeface. I
typography.
Think of layouts of books. Like when I go to a magazine, look in a magazine, I'm still analysing where text is. Could be, should be, and that doesn't work, and why is that there? And I still can't yet name all the fonts looking at them. I can only name
Classics.
New Roman, Arial, and Comic Sans.
Yeah.
And they're the only three that I can, first looking at it, I know. And it's because of graphics. But I think, even though that teacher was a pain in the ass, we're not in college anymore, so...
Neither is he.
Well, yeah. Due to reasons we're not going to say.
No.
But even though at that time we hated it, and the fact that we had to get everything printed out days before the deadline.
That was the stress of my life. I hated that.
But how is that with you now? Do you now, when you're submitting a deadline, do you get it, like you prepare to get it done weeks before?
Yeah.
Or do you wait last minute like the rest of your friends?
See, it depends. If, say, I was doing the same thing I was doing in college where we had to print the whole book out, I would probably, we'd make the pages, like, as we're going along. I'd probably print it as I was going and then just slowly start adding them. So then the last thing I have to do is just bind it.
See, I would slowly add them in on InDesign.
Yeah, that's
and then because
smart.
I can still move them around. So say... because I've already started my FMP, to say that the image from when I was 5 works better this way round than this image when I was 5.
Yeah.
I could still do that where if I've already printed that page, so I know you can print pages separately on InDesign.
Yeah.
I can't then, I have to go and
reorder it.
3 pages because you did back to back. No, 4 pages.
That's very true. See, that's probably smarter. Didn't think about that.
I mean...
Yeah.
That just sounds too much work.
Do you know, I don't really miss those days.
No?
No. Not of the stress of having to get it all printed in time.
Yeah, but now you're doing your editing.
Yeah.
Sooner. You're getting your final. Like, what do you title your stuff when do you go first draft 1? I fucking hate this project. I hate this project.
Yeah.
Final 1, final 2.
Yeah.
Final.
And then it's it's like final in capitals. Like this is it.
I think I posted that on one of my Instagrams. It's like, how do you save your work? And I went down. And I think somebody replied in the comments, like, yeah, same. I did the exact.
Yeah,
thing.
It's weird though, because sometimes also, when it auto-saves, and it's like, it's got the, like, title that you've called it, and then it's like, in brackets, autosave number 3.
Yeah.
And then by the end, it's like, autosave number 3 version 6. And I'm like, oh.
Now thinking about it, you have to do the same in black and white when you're printing.
Do you?
Well, no, technically, like, when you print your test strip, that's one print.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like draft.
Yeah.
Another draft. Then you print big. Now you have to sort out colour. So that's draft 1, 2 orange, 2 whatever. So then it's like final. No, it's still a little off. Final.
Yeah, it's the same.
So exactly the same. And do you find printing in the darkroom or printing on a printer? Which one do you find more difficult?
Printing on a printer. So much harder.
I did fashion, like a sort of a fashiony 1920s, sort of with the birdcage and everything like that.
Yeah.
I think I printed nearly 20-something copies because having a white background, a whiteout, it's a lot more difficult. Like you think that we're like that's again with seeing it digitally. You think it's white, like.
And then you print it.
You print it and it's grey.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that not white when you see it on the screen white?
Yeah.
So then I had to change the background to Photoshop to white, and then you suddenly see that. Oh well, you will leave that one. When you like, you can change the background in Photoshop to white. So once you've done that, you suddenly realise. White's not white.
Yeah.
So.
I think with like printing a darkroom, because you can see the stages of it, you know already like what it's gonna look like, and then you just build up on it. So like, say you've got a white like
background.
Yeah. So you can get that first, and then if you want to change the like like split toning, you know, like the shadows and stuff.
Yeah.
You already know what the white looks like, so then you're just adding to it. Whereas when you're printing, like from computer, it's like just one thing. So it prints, and then it's like you got to change it again, and then you go to print it, and it's like, I don't know, it's like, I just find it so much more difficult in a printer than, I guess because you can see the process of it when you're in the darkrooms. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, and also when you look at the negative,
yeah,
like you can roughly guess. It's like when I was saying that when I look at the negative and see how like dark it is, I already know what grade. So I said, I like black and white, so I know that it's going to be 15 seconds. Like if it's a certain like, if I see the negative, the black's really punchy and the whites are really white. That makes sense. Like the contrast.
Yeah.
I know that I'm going to put it on a contrast 4 grade. I know that the overall images is going to be like between a 10 and a 15 second exposure.
Yeah.
At like maybe 5.6.
Yeah.
And I literally go in there, do it, put it in the developer, come back out, it's perfect.
Exactly. Maybe it's to do with practice though.
Yeah, it's with practice, but then when like going back to like when you see it on screen, it's you think it's white,
but it's not. Yeah. Literally.
And I think it's that LCD color calibration on the screens. It doesn't matter if it's color calibrated or anything like that. It's still off to the real world.
Yeah, it's completely different.
And how the real eye sort of sees it than on a monitor.
I'm gonna turn that one back on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're hitting 28 minutes.
Oh, we're close. Let's just get this last bit.
So I mean, so you're all for printing.
Yeah. All for printing.
Now, I'm a culprit to that. I say that, print more. Print. If we weren't in uni, would you print?
Depends if you're talking film or digital.
I would say both.
See, that's where it gets hard, because once you're out of uni, you haven't got those darkrooms to just jump into anymore. I don't know what I'm going to do. If I have film, because I like to do it myself, I don't like to send it off.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can, like, hire out a place or something, maybe. Or it's the expense of if you wanted to create your own darkroom. Like, it's just expensive, isn't it? So it gets hard that way. I don't know what I'd do. I don't know.
Okay, let's ignore then, because you can always scan it.
Yeah.
I mean, scanning a negative, it is technically a raw file.
But then we're going back to the printers.
So that's why I'm making it easier.
That bugs me.
Yeah, that's why I'm making it easier for you, because I know that I probably wouldn't print as much.
No.
Even though I spout on in this podcast printing and
print.
Many other things that we talked about, and like you must print and like the whole feeling of it. If we weren't having to print for it's that one now.
What's going on? Is it memory full or something?
No.
Oh.
If you weren't having to print for projects, would you still go out of your way to print?
I think then it would depend on what you're printing and the importance of what you're printing.
Or even just hanging up in your bedroom or living room or whatever.
Yeah. I think I would, if I thought this is one of the best pictures I've ever taken, then I'd print it. If it was like a picture, it's alright, I probably wouldn't print it.
Yeah, that comes down to standards.
Yeah. I think like it's something about with printing, also the whole feeling like you're leaving something behind, like in the world.
Yeah, it's sort of done, finished, complete.
Yeah.
But
it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Because it's a physical thing.
That was something else that I was wanting to say. It's like, once it's online, it's online. It's like, when you print something out, it's like, it feels complete. It feels done. It feels finished. It feels like, yes, I've done it.
Yeah.
Where online, it's like, meh.
Yeah.
If that can be translated in words, like, meh.
Yeah.
But that's sort of what this podcast kind of wrapped up, even though we kind of went on a tangent.
We always go on tangents.
That's going to be a typical thing, I think.
Yeah.
So.
It keeps it interesting.
Man. And we need to somehow sort these cameras out. As you can see, we have to disappear from frame because we keep having now 2 cameras go out.
Yeah.
That one and your one.
Check the settings.
Yeah. Or something.
It might be like a power save thing. We'll get it fixed.
Oh, yeah. So, fingers crossed we get that fixed on the next podcast. And join us on whatever podcast we record next. We have many ideas and many things to talk about.
2.8.
Not that far.
We'll see.
Yeah.